All right, so yeah, most people see CLAUDE.md and think, cool, just another scratch pad for the AI, somewhere to dump a couple of notes, maybe a setup command or two. But the way I use it, it's more like standing orders, my playbook, the exact same rules I follow as a senior iOS engineer, building scalable, maintainable SwiftUI apps with that whole SLC mindset. I bake straight into Claude's brain, word for word. Claude doesn't just know my project, it knows how I build apps. That means when we're scaffolding a new feature, doing a gnarly refactor, or fixing some midnight bug I barely understand myself, it's not winging it. It's working inside the same guardrails I use when I'm at my best. So, yeah, it's less AI assistant who sometimes vibes out and more teammate who just gets my style. And honestly, that's when it starts to feel like you've got someone on your side who can actually keep up, even when it's just you at the desk, coffee going cold, shipping code at 1 a.m. Real quick, I'm Daniel. I've been in the iOS game for almost 8 years now, mostly freelancing, shipping apps for other people, doing the whole help build your dream app thing. But since Dub 25, I've been all in on the solo dev life, building in public, shipping my own stuff, seeing what sticks, and yeah, kind of figuring out this whole personal brand thing as I go. That's a story for another video, but for now, let's get into it. Here's the first big one I bake in, and yeah, it might sound a little obsessive, but every new struct class or enum gets its own Swift file, always. No exceptions, unless I've explicitly said so. You know why? Because if you've ever cracked open a file and found a random model, a helper, and a SwiftUI view all crammed together, you know the pain. It's like finding someone's entire kitchen in one drawer. Technically, it's all there, but good luck finding the whisk when you need it. So I tell Claude exactly why this matters. It keeps the code base readable, easy to navigate, and modular, just like Apple's own guidelines push for. And because AI loves to help by bundling things, my CLAUDE.md literally says, never define more than one top-level type in a file. If multiple types exist, split them into their own files named after the type. If there's an exception, like a tiny private helper enum, I spell that out too. That way, when I say, make me a new SwiftUI view, I don't get some Frankenstein file with a side of bonus types I never asked for. I get one clean file, profileview.swift, exactly how I'd write it myself. No surprises lurking in the corner. All right, the next thing in there is my hard limit, roughly 300 lines per file, 30 lines per function. And yeah, it's not about being picky or chasing some magical number. It's about keeping the code approachable for future me, the guy who's going to open this file in 6 months and either say, nice, or what monster wrote this? You know, Claude doesn't magically know those limits unless I spell them out. So my Claude.md literally says, if a file exceeds approximately 300 lines, recommend a split. If a function exceeds approximately 30 lines or has multiple responsibilities, break it into smaller, purpose-driven functions. And the cool part, now Claude will actually pause mid-task and go, hey, this function's getting kind of chunky. Should we refactor it? That's a partner move, not just blindly cranking out code like a vending machine, but actually watching my back before the mess sets in. This one's underrated. I always ask Claude, after writing a big chunk of code, to write 1 to 2 paragraphs analyzing its scalability and maintainability. Why? Because it forces a second pass, a chance to catch performance pitfalls or architectural smells while the change is fresh. In my Claude.md, I phrase it like, after any significant code output, reflect on long-term maintainability, suggest improvements, if relevant. That's not just a nice to have. It's basically an automated peer review baked into my workflow. I'm strict about packages, no SPM additions without a conversation. Claude needs to know that before it offers to pull in some random GitHub repo for a 5-line feature. So my MD file says, Ask before adding any third-party libraries. Prefer native SwiftUI and Apple frameworks. That way, when I say add pull to refresh, Claude uses refreshable curly brackets instead of bolting on an external library that'll be a maintenance headache in 2 years. A big pain point in AI generated missing previews or code that doesn't even build because it's not added to the Xcode proj. I fixed that at the root, bells out. All new files must be added to the Xcode project. Every SwiftUI view must include a preview using static mock data, no live fetches. This means every new view Claude makes for me already has a preview ready to go, and I can see it instantly without hitting a backend. It's one of those quality of life rules that just keeps shipping speed high. And yeah, the last one, and maybe the most important, is teaching Claude my planner mode process. When I say planner mode, it's not guessing. It knows exactly what's about to happen. First, reflect deeply on the change, then ask me 4 to 6 clarifying questions so we're actually on the same page. After that, draft a step-by-step plan. Wait for my approval, no cowboy coding. And once we're in motion, after each phase, summarize what's done and show me the next steps. I baked this right into .md, so I never have to re-explain it. It's like having a built-in brake pedal, stopping both me and the AI from sprinting straight into a big change without thinking through scope, edge cases, and architecture first. Honestly, it saved me from a lot of maybe we shouldn't have done that moments. And yeah, what's wild is these aren't just Claude rules, they're my rules. The exact same ones I'd follow if I was pairing with a real human dev sitting next to me. The stuff I've learned the hard way over years of building. They baked right into a file so Claude can follow them too. By putting them in .md, I've made them part of every single AI-assisted task I run. It's not just about keeping things consistent, it's about making sure the AI works at the same quality bar I hold myself to. That's the shift. That's what turns Claude from some assistant I have to babysit into a teammate who already thinks like I do, which honestly makes shipping way less stressful and way more fun. So yeah, that's my take on how I supercharge CLAUDE.md. Not just dumping in rules, but actually using them to make Claude feel like a proper teammate in my solo dev workflow. If you've got your own CLAUDE.md tricks, weird success stories, I'd love to swap notes. And if you're still figuring out how to make AI fit your style, ask away. I try to answer every question, and honestly, the back and forth is half the fun. If this helped you out, feel free to subscribe, or share it with another indie dev who's trying to wrangle AI into something actually useful. Until next time, keep crafting, keep learning, and don't let messy prompts or bad defaults stop you from building something you're proud of. Peace.